Hi, everyone. So I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to be talking today about what do we do with all of our memorabilia and papers and books and notes and all of that from the past. Specifically, I'm talking about from our educational past. So all of our papers, if our parents saved it for us from elementary school, middle school, high school, college, if you continued on, graduate school, whatever it is, what do we do with it? There are obviously hidden in there probably some gems. Let's say this is an obvious example. If you wrote a graduate thesis, something you slaved at for months, for a year, whatever it is, a crowning achievement, right? That's not going to be so easy, even if it's 30 years ago, to just toss it away. Now, for some people, it might be. They might, like I'm always saying, they might be able to hold on to that feeling of incredible accomplishment and pride while letting it go. And for other people, they want to be able to have it, to look back at it from time to time, or to show their kids or grandkids, whatever it is. Hold on to it. Why are we forcing you to toss that out? We shouldn't. It's more of, here's my entire, social studies notebook from third grade. Right? What are we doing with that? What are we doing with that? Why do we need to hold on to it? Why do we need to? I don't think there's a need to. The question is, why are you holding on to it? So ask yourself, what are the feelings that you are actually feeling? What are the emotions that you are feeling when you're looking at that notebook, when you're holding it? And that, or even if you're thinking about it, right? If you know that you have a big box full of all of your math and science and, language studies, literacy, whatever it is, picture that in your box, in your attic, or wherever it is, and try and bring up those emotions that those things bring out in you. And then if you can almost divorce yourself from the emotion and be interested in it, I'm trying to think of the word, almost like you're some kind of archaeologist and you're excavating and you come across this and you can say, this is interesting. What is this? And what is it? How does it make me feel? And by having a little bit of a remove from those feelings, you might be better able to make a decision that's not totally coming from your emotional place. And the emotional place is probably like, oh my God, this brings me back to middle school. And hopefully there are some positive memories in there. And I remember when this and that, and you're looking at something and you're remembering back to that class and the teacher. And when you start allowing yourself to go down that rabbit hole and you're fully there emotionally, it's going to be very hard, if not impossible, to just say, yeah, oh my God, I'm being flooded by those emotions, but let me just let it go. No, because you don't want to take yourself out of those emotions. So I recommend, like I said, removing yourself a little bit and kind of being curious about what you're feeling. And then ask yourself those really important basic questions. Do I need this? Now, the answer to probably 99% of what you're going to find is no. But then you can ask yourself, why do I want to hold on to this? Or more important of a question, why is this particular item more special than the rest of them? Or what about this is more special? The idea is you're trying to home in on why this as opposed to everything else. Because if you just say, I'm going to keep it all, well, then you're going to keep it all. But if you're really trying to discern what are the few items that you want to keep, you have to ask questions to help you along that decision tree. You're not going to be able to just randomly, make a decision based on, with no grounding, with nothing rational behind it. We're rational beings some of the time. So you want to kind of ask yourself, fine tune the questions. Is this a representation of some crowning achievement? If you were on the basketball team and your team made it to the finals and you won the championship and you have this incredible trophy, I understand why you don't want to just toss it, right? Even though it's from 40 years ago, or even though you're not going to be displaying it anywhere, it's still very important to you. Okay, so that's an example of asking yourself, why this as opposed to the others? And the answer is because this really was, or is an expression of a defining moment for me. This was very special to me. Okay, so you want to also ask yourself those questions when it comes to your academic work. You know, if they're just notebooks, I would say get rid of it. You know, if maybe someone, you know, maybe you had a really special relationship with your English teacher, and so even though you're never going to look at the notes again, if you hold on to the notebook, it kind of brings you back there. I get it, I understand it, but if your objective, your ultimate objective is to be able to make a change in your life and to be able to make a change in what you're holding on to because it all feels like too much, then now would be the time to say, you know what? I had a wonderful relationship with that teacher. That teacher was so critical and crucial for me at that moment in my life. And even though that's the case, and I'm going to hold on to those amazing feelings and memories, I'm going to be able to let this go, because I can still feel those wonderful feelings without this notebook. So those are the kinds of things that you're going to be asking yourself. And remember, there's no right or wrong, but what should lead you is your objective. What is the purpose in going through this exercise? And if the purpose is to be able to learn to let go of all of the stuff that you don't need, that's weighing you down, and that's taking up space, you're going to have to push yourself to an uncomfortable edge. The more you push yourself to that uncomfortable edge and you're asking yourself those questions and forcing yourself to take action, the more you're going to exercise that muscle, which is the letting go of that muscle, and the easier it will become. Okay? So what I would say is go through it. You can make the choice not to, but then nothing's going to change. If it's weighing heavily in your mind or your heart, open the boxes. It's a great time to do it. It's the end of year, right? It's right before a fresh start. Open the boxes. By the way, if it's easier to just say, this is from 8th grade science class, I'm tossing it, go for it. If you'd like to painstakingly go through it. But you got to ask yourself these important questions along the way to help figure out where this piece lies for you in the spectrum of value, of emotional value. And always remember, usually what happens is when we let it go and a day or two or a week passes, we don't think about it and we don't regret it. It's the opposite. We think, gosh, I'm really proud of myself for letting that go. I feel lighter. I feel more spacious. It was worth it. I'm going to go back and tackle another box. Leave me some questions if you've got any. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope this was helpful. Take care.